Good afternoon. I'm James Pennington, and today I'm going to talk to you about discrimination and how God actually views discrimination. Before we start, let's start by an interesting stat that I found online. The Human Rights Watch discovered that across 34 states studied, most drug offenders are white, yet a black man is 11.8 times more likely to be sent to prison on drug charges, and a black woman is 4.8 times more likely to be sent to prison than a white woman. I chose this topic because of my strong views towards discrimination and how it can allow people to feel as if they are mistreated. I believe that no one should be mistreated based on discrimination and stereotyping. After this speech, I hope you have a broader knowledge on discrimination and a broader belief that discrimination is not something that God values, and how God values seeing the world through perfect glasses. Today I'm going to validate my views on discrimination based on two simple things. The first is going to be how discrimination can cause minorities to feel they are less on the totem pole. The second is how God actually views discrimination. Let's start by talking about how it can cause minorities to feel as if they are lower end of the totem pole. What is discrimination exactly, and how does it start? Webster describes discrimination as the process by which two stimuli different in some aspect are responded to differently. What exactly does that mean? If you have any man, woman, color, ethnicity, it does not matter. If you direct something else towards them that you wouldn't direct to another person, then that is discrimination. How exactly did it start? It's noted that it started back in the 1400s when the Europeans came to Northern America. They came and they brought slaves along with them, who were African Americans. At that time, the white man thought he was superior, so they actually had slaves. So that's where discrimination all started. It started from the slavery movement. Let's talk about women and a man. Why are men more qualified to do a job the same as a woman? We are all people, they should be treated equally. And now let's talk about stereotyping and what it can cause. Let's look at the 9/11 attacks. September 11th, two aircraft hit the Twin Towers. Now every time we're in an airport, we see an Arabic person. Why do we stereotype them as terrorists? And I've seen several people do it. Stereotyping should not be allowed. And it actually should, in my opinion, should be a criminal offense, because you're stereotyping somebody based just off their color, off their religion, off their race. It should not be allowed. Next, we're going to talk about how God views this as a bad thing and why we should not discriminate. According to Dr. Alvin at Liberty University, God values being impartial. What exactly does impartial mean? According to Webster, impartial means not partially or biased, treating or affecting all equally. Now, what does Scripture say about men and how they were created? Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 through 27. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heaven, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Does that say God created a Chinese man, God created an Arabic man, a black man? No, it says God created man and woman. It says nothing about race, nothing about religion, so everybody should therefore be treated equally. I'm going to sum it up by telling you what we talked about today. Today we talked about how minorities can feel as if they are on the lower end of the totem pole if you discriminate against them. We also talked about how God values impartially and how you should not discriminate according to Scripture. I hope you have a stronger belief that discrimination is something that God does not value and how God values it as a bad thing. I read this quote online, and it often brought me back to my childhood. As a child, you seem to see everything. You don't see color as a child. You see every person as equal. Let me read this quote from Eric Byrne. "The moment a little boy is concerned with which is a jay and which is a sparrow, he can no longer see the birds and hear them sing." So when we leave here today, I want everybody to take their glasses, put them on, and see the world as all equal. If you have any questions, please see me after the briefing. Thank you.